Still not sure I can hear you.
Still nothing.
Hey, there we go.
There we go. Okay, we're
Okay.
good.
I can hear you now. Hi. I'm Medic.
Hi.
Good to
Nice to meet you.
Yeah, good to finally talk to you. All right.
Yeah, thanks for being patient with me.
Dude, likewise. It's I feel like this has been months in the making.
Yeah, for real.
um
Yeah, and it's the worst times too. New job comes up and
oh yeah.
holidays. Like, oh,
Hey, at least we're starting to get something going here.
yeah, for sure.
Um so, uh I remember you reached out a while back wanting to learn more about Squadron stuff. Remind me
Yeah.
what's what you're up interested in. So, and where
Just
where
I
you're at
just
now.
wanted to
Yeah.
like be more like competitive with it, but this
Okay.
is not going to video. Oh, I know what to do. It's fine.
Okay. So you're interested in getting into the competitive side of things.
Yeah,
Okay.
and getting into more like sort of like more competitive games in that regard, like how I used to play Halo 2 and all that.
Yeah. Okay. Um, when was the last time you played like Squadrons? How much do you remember?
I I I usually go into practice a lot.
Okay.
I was just in there right now. Like I would go in there, throw some bot squads at me, and then try and like do dog fights like that.
Okay.
I did a few matches on there. I have a little bit of glory, but not a whole lot. Um, but yeah, just some like I would go online every like seldom like month or so. I don't know, not a whole lot because I couldn't find anything like organized right. I don't know
Okay. Yeah. Um,
if that makes sense.
so the server that I just sent you a link to, that'll help you find more games. People queue for dogfights. People occasionally. find like uh, people occasionally find like fleet battles versus AI. They stack in groups, and there's a couple weekly events that have uh, like full on just ranked fleet battles. Like people queue for
Oh,
ranked fleet
nice.
battles. So keep an eye on this Discord. Grab a couple of looking for group tags, and you'll start to find more games, and that'll help in more things. Okay, the next question I have is: are you trying to find public dogfights, or are you just using the training practice mode?
Usually just a training practice mode.
Okay, okay. Um, so I won't get into this too much now, but it'll become more important down the line. I would steer away from using the practice mode from here
Okay.
on out, and here's why. Um, the game came out a long time ago, like 2020. When it was released as a one and done type game by the developers, and they didn't plan on producing any more updates. They gave a like they actually did give one or two more client side updates where we got a little bit more content, and then they gave server side updates for I think 4 months after the last client side update. Um, so generally, the online servers for the game are more up to date than the client of the game. So there are things that are different in online matches versus offline matches, if that makes sense.
Right.
So
Yeah, definitely.
like with competitive stuff, if you're practicing competitive stuff, make sure you're using custom matches or public matches for those. Um,
Okay.
but like I'm telling you this now before we get into all the like crazy stuff, not crazy stuff, but like the more important stuff that'll where all that will become really essential. Um,
Right.
just like something to keep in mind for the future. Okay,
Okay.
next question I have is um, what control input method are you using?
I'm using controller, PS5 controller.
Okay, okay. What are your keybinds for your PS5 controller?
Basic keybinds, pitch and yaw are, oh no, pitch and roll are on the left stick. Yaw and angle are on the right stick.
Okay,
Uh, R2 for it's basically the default PS5 controls
okay. Um,
or Xbox.
that works. What is your boost button on?
Boost button, I believe, is on L3.
So a stick, pushing a stick.
Yeah.
Okay. Super important change, and this is the only change I'm going to ask you to make to your controls. Move your boost button to the trigger that you're not using for your fire button. So
Okay.
whatever's I think
So
it's your left trigger, whatever's on your left trigger,
yeah.
move boost to your left trigger because you're going to be using that a lot, and it's very inconvenient on one of the sticks.
Okay. I went ahead and did that.
Okay. And that shouldn't affect you too much, um, especially since you're just starting out. Yeah. I, so another thing I want to ask: are you cool if I stream on Twitch for this like lesson that we're or the this intro stuff that we're doing? Because I've wanted to stream
Yeah.
teaching somebody how to do this for a long time. I've taught a lot of people, and I've always forgotten to stream, but I want to like actually stream. And so uh, I've got a couple people who are giving me recommendations on the side. One of them says that moving boost is huge on controller, and I really agree. Um,
Okay.
are okay, so let's see. The next thing is um, what ships do you like to fly? This is the next
I'm an
important
X-wing
question.
guy.
Okay,
I
okay.
I'm all X-wing. I'm a nerd like that. I guess I don't know.
I respect it. I respect it. Okay, so your standard fighter ships, I guess.
Yeah.
Not so much a fan of the interceptors.
Not so much.
Okay, that's
Bu- I can't handle the speed as much as I can with the X-wing. I've noticed. Um, I'm willing to learn, but it's a lot.
So you won't need to worry about the uh, you won't need to worry about learning how to fly an interceptor, but the speed will become important.
Okay.
So, and we'll get into that. We'll get into that. You won't need to worry about that at a crazy, advanced level until probably much later, um, until the training is complete, if you will. But uh, the a lot of the advanced stuff in Squadrons revolves around boosting and drifting. And generally, when you're boosting and drifting, you're moving at over your max speed of your ship.
Right.
So it's being able to um, understand what is going on, and being able to master that speed is pretty. It's also pretty important. But that's something that That's a skill that you'll gain over time. It took me months to learn how to do it, and it's just a thing that it takes practice, but if you keep flying games, you'll get it down eventually. Okay, so fighters, that works. Or do you have a faction preference, NR versus Empire?
I like Republic, Rebels,
Okay.
Republic.
Are you adamant about not flying Empire, or are you okay with flying both?
I'm okay with flying both.
Okay, good. That's good. Because usually in competitive games, you're forced to fly both evenly. Um,
Yeah.
so, okay. The next thing is. Let's see. Go 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, settings. These are in game. I'm streaming my screen in Discord.
Oh. Okay.
If you want to take a quick look at that, there's a couple of settings in your gameplay menu that are pretty important, and I'd like to point out for you.
Sure. Okay, I see it.
Okay, so the first one is auto target attacked hostiles. Have that on either always off or no target only.
Okay, let me go into that here. Gameplay. Auto target, yep. Always off. Okay.
Okay. Next, I think is maybe video. You want to turn on film grain if that's not already on.
Yeah, it's on.
Okay, good. And then in controls, we'll get into a lot of this later. You want to turn off throttle down to stop boosting.
Okay.
And then
So what would I use for the stop? Oh well, never mind. I figured it out.
and the next one is drift input mode on hold.
Okay.
And then basically what you're doing is when you're boosting and drifting, you hit the boost button. If you're on controller, so you're gonna quickly tap the boost button once to initiate a drift, and then press it and hold it down a second time to hold a drift. And then as soon as you release the button, you're gonna stop the drift. That's how that basically works, and we'll get into that in just a bit. Power management will start on basic for now. We'll get into advanced later, but that might be a little bit down the line. Actually, if you're on controller, are you using controller with a PlayStation or like a PC?
PS5.
Okay, so then you'll probably be on basic. Yeah.
I mean, if you throw out Xbox controls, I'm totally cool with that.
See, I use a PC, and things are a bit different later down the line with between basic and advanced power management. There's some edge mechanics that can be differentiated between the two, but that's good to know, and that's actually really important to know later down the line. Okay.
If it helps, do you know the D-pad assignments for the controllers?
I do.
Okay, just making sure, because I know that one too.
Yeah, power is left, weapons is up, and shields is right. correct?
Yeah, and then
Yeah.
down is reset to even.
Yeah, you never want to have, so that this is another thing. Never have your power unbalanced. It's always beneficial to have it in one system or another.
Yeah, I've learned that.
Okay, good, good. All right, all right. I think that covers a lot of the like general stuff. Everything else is pretty much personal preference. I use throttle steps and 50% at that, but I do that for specific reasons.
You said throttle steps?
Yeah, don't worry about that. Do what feels comfortable to you, and then you can change it down the line. Okay. All right. I'm gonna put up a custom match, and I. Let's see. How do I want to go about doing this? That's not the right button. Create. Basic settings. We want Vostar. I'm putting a password, settings, match time, 60 minutes. Basic. That should be good for now. Okay. So I put up a custom match. Feel free to join it. It's a dogfight. It's under SKL Medic.
Yep, I see you.
The password is train, TRAIN. Also, if you hadn't noticed, my good friend Tiny Dragons has joined us in this VC.
Oh, hey.
Tiny is another person who I have trained to fly, and he's actually kind of cracked now, and I'm very proud of him for it.
I wouldn't say cracked.
Definitely cracked.
I got somewhat good at power management.
That means cracked.
I run Plasburst for fun.
Password is train, TRAIN.
Why is this guy gonna run a train on me?
No, we're about to start boost skipping. So you remember that like ages ago, right? Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Okay.
Continue. There it goes.
Awesome. So we'll start off on Empire first, and we'll get into New Republic in a bit. But Empire is.
If you give me a sec, I can get in, and you can put me on New Republic, so you have someone to shoot at.
I will do that. I actually, when you get on New Republic, get in an A-wing, please, and and share your screen in Discord, because the power. I don't know if it's true for.
I'll be here.
I don't know if it's true for
I
Empire
appreciate it,
ships.
Tiny Dragon.
Hey Zoltry.
Are you streaming?
I am. So.
I'm probably coming in on 2 channels. I'm gonna fix that right now.
You're fine. I have the other one muted. Zoltry, if you don't mind, I'd like to keep this just between us, because this is going to be very basic stuff that I'm sure you already know. And feel free to keep watching my stream, though. I don't want to kick you out, but like you might be bored during this, dude. So.
This will not be a let's bash the new guy against a wall.
Yes, this will
This will
not be that.
let's
Otherwise, I am booting all of
and
you from the
watch.
game.
I am expected to suck right now.
No. If you are not doing well, then I am booting people from this game. That's how this works. Okay. So, we're going to do that, and we're going to start this match. Go ahead and get in a TIE Fighter. And if you can, with the TIE Fighter, I would put either jet or slam engine on it. How many? What? Actually, I can just check right here. Okay.
Engine. You said slam.
Or jet, either one, if you have enough
Oh,
components.
Do I have? I have a twin propulsion engine only.
That's fine. It shouldn't matter for the start, but
Okay.
um,
I mean, I'm sure I'll get more. I'll pick up more.
yeah.
Sultry, what's the V-wing?
It's all right. It's all right. Sultry can fly B.
Okay. Is there?
All right, I'm running an ion A-wing.
That works.
The only way I can actually kill you is with a quick lock missile.
Grab a repair kit as well, Maverick.
Yeah, I have that too.
Yeah, I got that.
Okay, good. You're also still in a TIE bomber, by the way.
Oh.
I think you forgot to switch ships. Yep, that's
I
okay.
forgot to switch.
You're just gonna have to bonk into a wall, or one of the lovely people on the opposing team can help you change ships.
Zultra, I'll leave that task to you.
So, this is Fostar. This is my favorite map for training new people. It's got open parts, it's got parts that are closed off, it's got obstacles, it's got free space.
I am lagging more than I thought I was.
Okay.
Oh no, it's going. We're going.
You're good?
Oh, no, sorry. I'm kind of good. I'm trying to do this in VR.
Okay. Okay.
That might be why it's lagging like this. But let me. Dang,
You're a bit robotic-y.
Yep.
Okay. You can actually do this stuff in a TIE bomber, I'm pretty sure.
So, medic, I'm currently just stationary.
Okay.
I'm eating my dinner. If you need me to do something, let me know.
Will
I
do.
just realized I'm not stationary.
That's fine.
Okay. I don't want to make the screen
Currently
boring or
waiting for my
nothing.
game not to crash.
Here we go. Graphics card. Let's turn that down.
I'm in a slam engine, aren't I? I am.
Okay, that's
Fine.
Scale. I'm putting that down. Oh, I got to restart the game.
Oh, okay.
Sorry.
Alright. Let's see. It's been a while since I've done this.
I might have to stop watching this.
That's fine.
I like how all three of us are streaming in Discord.
In case you want multiple points of view.
Multiple camera angles. Out of this. Oh, where did you go?
You're using PSVR, is that right?
I am using no Quest 3.
Okay.
Oh, there it is. I found it much easier for tracking and able to freely move my head around instead of having to rely on the screen.
Okay. Yeah, nice.
Okay, I'm done with my dinner. What do you need me to do?
So let's see. I think I'm gonna go over the basic parts of your ship and then your power, difference between power and energy. And then the benefits of each system, and then we get into boosting. So, Maverick, have you rejoined the game just yet?
I'm about to right now. I just got back into the menu.
Okay.
Join custom match.
Actually, when you join, you're probably gonna join on Empire.
Okay.
You're probably going to join on New Republic, actually, because the game is even right now, and it always fills New Republic first. So, let's restart this lobby.
Oh, should I cancel?
Yeah.
Okay.
Create custom load settings. Nope. Basic settings.
Oh, where'd Zultry go?
I don't know.
Him and I had a really good conversation earlier
That's good.
about just politics and
Yeah.
some things going on in the country right now, and it was really cool to hear his point of view and his side of things. Really made me think about some stuff.
Yeah. He's a veteran, so.
Yeah, he is.
Okay, I'm putting the match back up. Should be same password, same map, same everything.
Okay. There you are. Oh, edit password. I guess with VR mode, it makes me push a button to edit the password and try to find my keyboard.
Yeah, I personally don't play on VR, but that's okay. Get into a TIE fighter before you. There you go.
Yeah. Wait. Make sure I have.
Doesn't Gunslinger play on VR? Or am I thinking of someone else?
Gunslinger plays in VR.
He might be able to help.
Possibly. Okay. So every ship has 3 subsystems. Well, most ships have 3 subsystems. The TIE fighters, TIE bombers, and TIE interceptors have 2. Your 3 subsystems are your engines, your weapons, and your power. If you look, do you see your throttle on the screen?
Yeah.
The blue and red bar that's right next to your throttle, that's engines and weapons, respectively. And if you notice, when you put power into either one of those systems, energy starts to grow in the corresponding subsystem. So,
Right.
when you have power in weapons, your weapons start to grow bright red instead of just dull red.
Hey, Zultry.
And when you put power into engines, you notice the little yellow bars on the side of your screen start to charge up, right?
Right.
So the your weapons going from regular to bright red, that's called weapon overcharge. When your weapons are overcharged, they do double damage. Likewise, when you have, and that only happens, you only recharge weapons when your power is the one of the 2 bars with 8 pips in them. Each one of the little like dot things is called a pip. So when you have full pips in one system, you start to grow energy or power. When you have full power in a system, you start to grow energy in that system. Does that make sense? So energy is like the thing that you're growing. Power is the indicator that you're looking at when you move your power around and change between the 2. So if I put my power in engines, those yellow bars start to grow. Those yellow bars are your boost bar. And so when you hit your boost button, You accelerate really fast, and you also spend boost. It becomes very hard to turn, but you're also moving at really high-paced, fast speeds. So that's kind of what the two Empire, or the three Empire ships, the TIE Fighter, TIE Interceptor, and TIE Bomber, they only have the two subsystems. The TIE Reaper, the TIE Defender, and all of the New Republic ships have a third subsystem called Shields. Tiny, I believe, is sharing his screen. He's in an A-Wing. You can see the Shields icon on his shared screen if you look where your health bar normally is, or your health indicator. There's a green and a green and sometimes green and white, or just plain white, circle around that health bar or health indicator. That's your shield indicator. It indicates how much shields you have in front of and in back of your ship.
Which stream is this you were talking about?
Tiny's.
Tiny.
Oh.
So Tiny, I would say maybe half overcharge your shields, if you can.
Right now they're fully overcharged.
Yeah,
but
so let them deplete a bit. And so you can kind of see I can shoot at you a bit if that makes it easier.
That'd be great.
There you go.
Oh yeah, there you go.
So his shields are what, half in back and half overcharged in front right now, or they were before you rebalance them.
So right now they're rebalanced, which has the green shields. If I put them forward, see how they overcharge with white and green?
Yeah.
And if I put them in the back, the same thing happens. Well, if I balance them, and then I put power into medic...
I'm just helping you reduce your shields, that's all.
I just need a minute. If I put them in the power into shields, you see how that green bar slowly becomes white?
Yeah.
I'm overcharging my shields with that.
And that basically gives you double shields. Yeah, that basically just gives you double shields. Just like how overcharging weapons gives you double strength weapons. So,
right.
But the important thing to note in all of this is boost. When you have power in engines, you gain boost energy. And boost is the life of this game, especially in the competitive scene. The boost bar is more frequently than not more important than your health bar. Because, and the idea of this is that the faster you are moving, the harder you are to kill, and therefore the less likely you are to die. So I can be at 1% hull, and if I'm moving at the speed of light, then I'm not going to die. And, like, as a competitive player myself, I abuse that all the time. So, boost is really, really important in this game, and the only way you get it is by having power in engines.
At certain times, if you do it too quickly, you won't build anything.
We'll get to that in a bit. But, yeah, for now, just know that you need to put power in engines to gain any boost, and boost helps you move fast. So, the next thing, have you played the campaign? I'm assuming you have, right?
Yes.
Do you implement drifting at all?
Not in the campaign. I haven't tried it on there.
Okay. I think level 4 of the campaign forces you to learn how to drift. It's a pretty shitty drifting tutorial, if you ask me. Like, they explain it really badly.
I agree.
Yeah, it doesn't make a whole lot of sense. But basically what you're going to do is, when you're drifting, you want to make sure that you have energy in your boost tank. So you need to have at least one of those, at least some of the yellow boost in your boost tank. Otherwise, you're not able to boost at all.
Right.
So you're going to press your boost button once, and if you press it and hold it, then you start boosting and your boost starts draining. Right? And then I believe when you release the button, then, or when you either release the button or click it a second time.
You have to click it a second time. I just tried it.
Okay, when you click it a second time, your boost ends, right?
Right.
So then, if you hold the boost button when you click it a second time, so you click it in and you hold it down, you then start what is known as a drift. And the drift is the magical thing in this game that allows you to do the most crazy stuff you could ever dream of. It is the thing that really differentiates good players from great players. So, and by drifting, you can turn at a really high speed. You can keep your high speed from boosting while turning at a really high speed as well. So normally when you're just boosting, you can't turn very, quickly. But if you're drifting, you can turn very quickly. And you have to hold your boost down to do that. But like a good way to do that is just boost, and then turn hard to one side, and then press and hold your boost button again, and you'll go like basically spinning out. And who's shooting me? Mr. Tiny Dragons.
It was just a little love tap.
Alright.
Meant nothing by it.
What's the password for the game?
I'm doing a training session right now.
Yeah, that's fine.
I'd like
Train,
to keep
all lowercase TRAIN.
I'd like to keep the lobby not full, if I could, please.
Okay.
But
Who's talking? If you want, I can jump in a different custom game and give you something to shoot at.
Yeah, that's kind of why I'm here.
okay, yeah.
I
So
appreciate the love, though.
have you
We want you to get good at this game, man. We like that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
we're desperate to get people to play this game because it's a really fun game and not many people play it.
Right.
So have you been able to execute a drift yet?
Yeah.
Okay. I would
Oh, and I actually have to now because I'm outside of the realm of the map.
I would practice that a good bit. It's pretty important. And so what I would do right now, I'm going to ask you to just practice moving around the map, hold your boost button down, and practice like executing a drift. Turn as far as you can. Rinse and repeat. Just until you get used to the like click, double click and hold. Click, double click and hold.
Oh. Okay, there we go.
Hey, Medic, I don't know if my friend is around or not, but I just got one of my army buddies to purchase the game the other day.
If
So,
if you're trying to
if-
get him into the comp scene, I can train him.
Well,
He's more than happy
I've
to
been
join in
working
on
with
this.
him a little bit on key bindings, but I did link him your stream, and
Okay, yeah. We're basically starting from ground zero here, so it's a really good place for him to start.
yeah, no, for sure. I'm sorry, I won't interrupt again.
Oh no, you're fine,
Do you
dude. Anybody who's also listening, feel free to chime in, because the last time I did this, the people who were in VC with me helping me out brought up a bunch of excellent points that I absolutely would have forgotten about to say something about. So feel free to like say stuff. you can absolutely interrupt me.
Only thing I would add for your emphasis on the boosting and drifting being extremely important is generally, like, once you get really good at it, you're almost never going to be not in the boost drift state.
Yes.
Like, it's that important.
Yeah, that's pretty true, but we have to, get some steps
Yeah.
down before we can get to that point.
Just further emphasis, that's it.
Yeah, it's very, very important. So, make sure you're at least somewhat comfortable with it, with, executing a drift, and the, how to do it, making sure you have boost in your tank, etc. So... Sorry, Ziltry.
No, you're good. Honestly, I thought I had boosted to dodge that, but I guess not.
Oh! Yikes. I'm alright.
Sorry, medic.
You're fine. Okay. Alchem, you are spectating, right? Or are you in this game as well? You're in this game as well. Okay. I wonder if... is there any way... Yeah, you probably can't stream your screen, Maverick.
I haven't even tried.
I want to make sure that you are getting what I want you to get out of this. So
Right.
maybe if somebody on the other team could spectate the game and watch Maverick's POV.
Yeah, I can get on spectate him.
Awesome, thank you, man. But yeah, right now just practice boosting. And hold the other thing is your drift lasts as long as you hold the button down.
That makes sense.
So it's not just like a quick hold for 1 second thing. You can hold the drift for like 10-12 seconds on some ships and still just be like drifting, etc. So it's not just a, one and done type thing. And that's...
But you will lose speed the longer you hold the drift.
You will lose speed, and in some cases you'll also lose boost if you have, say, boost in another subsystem. Like if you have, power in engines, and you boost and drift, it's not going to happen to me because I have a slam engine, but... if you're not using a slam engine, then if you boost and drift and have your power out of engines, you also lose boost. Basically, if you have power out of your subsystem, there's a couple, like, invincibility frames, kind of, that's the best way I can put it, to when you put power in and put power out of a system.
Right.
Specifically with drifting, when you're drifting, there's a little bit of time where boost, you don't use... your boost doesn't degrade, but then it starts degrading if you hold it for too long. And that also happens with weapons. If I have my power in engines, you'll notice my weapons are starting to, decrease in energy. The energy in my weapons is starting to decrease. So...
I see.
Yeah, so it's, make sure you're holding... You can hold boost for as long as you want. And sometimes that's, relatively important. Depending on the specific circumstance.
By the way, I'm spectating Maverick right now.
Yep.
On my stream.
I will absolutely do that.
Oh. Gotta let my thing charge.
Okay. So the next thing I'm going to point out is you see those particle effects on your screen
Yeah.
when you boost. You know you're doing a drift right if when you turn to the side, those particle effects start moving sideways in front
Yeah.
of you, or instead of in front of you, right? So no, they always originate from when you boost, the moment you hit the drift button, the place that your cursor is at, those particles will originate from that position, and you will continue to move in that position or in that direction while your ship turns to a different angle.
Right.
So that's how you know if you're ever unsure you're executing a drift properly. That's how you know you're getting a good drift in, is when you see those particles going to the side in any way, shape, or form. So, okay. The next thing is making sure that you are holding your drifts for generally as long as possible every time you are boosting and drifting. There's a few exceptions to this, but they aren't really... We'll get to those in a bit. But generally, make sure you are holding your drifts basically until they end naturally.
I see.
So, like, you know, when you hit 80 or so, your drift will end and you'll go back to... Or 80, 90, 100, you'll go back to normally using your engines.
I see what you're saying. So if it gets back in within 100.
Yeah. And that's
Okay.
directly correlated to your throttle. So
Yeah.
if you have your throttle at 0, or if you move your throttle down to 0 while you're drifting, then you'll keep decreasing speed until you hit 0.
Okay.
So if you have your throttle on half, say you're turning faster, right? And then you boost and you drift, your throttle, you'll keep decreasing speed until... So I reached 60 there. My throttle is at half and... Oh, nice, Tiny. I watched that happen. Very nice.
Just that good, man. I'm just that good.
So I had my throttle at half because you turn a little bit faster when you're at half throttle. But when I boosted and drifted, I held my drift until it naturally ended, and it naturally ended at 60 speed, where my throttle was at. So that's...
I see what you're saying. So if I throttle down while I'm doing the drift, it'll naturally come once it gets to where that cursor is on the throttle.
Yes. And that comes into play a little bit later. And yeah. So the next thing is, once you get used to holding your drift for as long as possible, the next thing I want to share with you is to use as little boost as possible. Now this is a bit tricky because normally you have to, hold your boost down for a decent amount. So if you're at, 120 miles an hour, we'll say miles an hour, speed-wise, right? I'm going full throttle. When you hit your boost button, it takes a minute to get up to 249, which is max speed for the Defender, right? So when I'm at 119, I hit my boost button. It takes about a second to get up to max speed. So in that time, the whole time you're speeding up, you're burning boost. And so let's see, how do I... Generally, when you do this, you want to... I should probably teach dead drifting first, because then your boosts last longer. Hang on. Yeah, okay. So instead of doing that, I'm going to teach you about dead drifting. Dead drifting is... Hi, Ghost. Dead drifting is when you boost and drift with power out of engines. So if you have 8 pips in engines you want to pull all of that power as much as you can out of your engines when you execute a boost and a drift. And you'll notice that your drift is a little bit different than when you have power in engines. It might last a little bit longer, or it will definitely last a little bit longer, and I believe you will continue holding your current like vector for a longer time, and you'll stay closer on that path.
Is this when I have the throttle set to 0?
Yes, you do. I would prefer. I think you should dead drift at throttle 0. Because your dead drift is going to be a lot shorter when your throttle's full, or even half.
Well, so that's called an under throttle bug. But right now I just want you to learn the difference between drifting and dead drifting, and what dead drifting does to your engine, or to your speed and how you move. So if you execute a drift, you hold it for a max, you'll maybe drift for 3 seconds, right? If I pull my power out of engines, I boost and I drift. Maybe it's the second time, but I can hold my drift for up until like 10 seconds. It's a really big increase, and so you'll notice, because eventually your throttle will stop, or your speedometer will stop going down, and you can count the duration that you're in a drift when you're holding that drift, and it's a decent difference as well. So it makes your drifts last longer, and it's a pretty important concept, because, as I said, boosting and drifting is very essential to this game. And it'll help later on when we get to, using boost in an efficient fashion, is because you want to be drifting for as long as possible and using boost just to keep up the speed to stay in a drift. So what you can do is, if you get a full tank of boost, switch your power into weapons if you're in a TIE fighter, and then boost and just immediately drift, or boost and then drift and hold it for as long as you can. And I would recommend turning.
I should fill it first, fill the tank first, and then switch to weapons and do that.
Yes, make sure you have a full tank, or at least a good amount, like at least 2/3 or 2/5, 3/5 in your tank. Make sure you have a decent amount that you can use to get up to speed, and then you're pretty much good from there. Okay. And so if you hold your boost down until you get up to speed, and then you hold your drift down until you end.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, and so when you're drifting, if you turn to the side, like immediately after you start to drift, it's really easy to tell when you're drifting, because when you stop drifting, those lines that are going across your screen,
they get thick.
Well, they get thick, but when you stop drifting, they'll go back in front of you. So you can use the duration the lines are moving sideways as an indicator for how long you're in a drift. And so I would, get used to drifting for as long as possible, especially with...
wow, that comes in handy.
It does. It does. It really does. It's... So what I'm kind of building the foundational blocks right now to get into some of the drifting mechanics that will really help you move around this game in an incredibly efficient manner. And boosting and drifting, as I said, is the life of this game. Your boost bar is more important than your health bar by far. Yep, see? So right there, when your drift ended, you didn't have any boost. So you just kind of slowed down and stopped. But as soon as you get more, then you can just kind of keep going. But it makes a really big difference.
Especially when you're tracking someone. Absolutely.
Oh yeah.
Getting their movements down, that's perfect.
And so it's called a dead drift because when you're boosting and drifting, you're drifting like
There's
you're
no
dead
power going. You have no change in direction at that point.
Right, you're
That
drifting
makes
like you're dead in
sense.
space.
Yeah. Whoa, who was that?
That was probably Zoltry.
Sorry. I was just flying around, and I definitely did a loop, like, right in front of you.
But no, that comes in really handy for sure.
Yeah. Okay. Are you good with that? Are you feeling good?
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay. You ready to move on to the next thing?
Yes.
Okay. So the next thing is, and we're going to be using the thing that I just taught you, holding your drifts for a long period of time, to basically conserve energy. The whole goal of this is to move as much as we can using as little boost as we can. So
I see.
the way this goes is you're going to quickly boost like as fast as you can and then hold your drift for as long as possible.
That's with the power to weapons.
Yes, with power to weapons, you're going to quickly boost, hold your drift until you nearly stop, and then quickly boost again. And when you're pressing your boost button, it should be like your let's see, what's a good example of this? Like I would almost say, you know, tapping if the button was like on fire, if it was molten hot, you don't want to touch it for any more than like you can before you burn your finger. So you really just want to hit it for the absolute minimum time. You want to click it as fast as you can, like double click as fast as you can to, you know, start the boost, end the boost, and start the boost, end the boost, and start the drift. You want to do all of that as quickly as you can. And eventually, when you have power out of engines, it takes you a while to slow down again. So when you start your next boost, you just basically keep going at a high speed.
Right.
Eventually, you are going to run out of boost. And so the whole goal of this is to get as many boosts as you can out of your boost bar.
I see, but it doesn't degrade while the boost is while you're drifting. That's where I think I was scared of it at first. Okay, that makes that works. So let me charge it up. Okay, so it's charged. Going quickly. Going quickly. So that's what they're doing. Okay.
I love it.
It's a great feeling, isn't it, Zoltry?
I know it is when a new player starts
When
to
it-
figure out
yeah,
what we're
when
doing.
it starts to
and
click,
it
it's just
starts
like,
to click.
yes.
It's-
That's when like all the Reddit posts make sense now.
Yeah. The crazy thing is, though, is that all the Reddit posts are complete bullshit because everybody can do this. It's just that the campaign, which is supposed to teach you how to play the game, is dog shit. So nobody teaches you how to do this, and it's up to people. And if you don't like take the initiative to ask, then you're just like left in the dust, and that's not fair.
And then you just stop playing after
Life.
a while.
Right.
That's true. But then you've got people like Rebel, if you're there, putting out videos, that helps. As long as
Exactly.
you're a member of Discord, but then not everybody even knows how to get into these groups. So it's a bit of a nightmare, isn't it?
It really is.
I mean, yeah, I've been
Yes.
playing since launch. I was playing the game since launch, but I just back in May was like, you know what? I'm gonna finally start looking through Discord. and I looked for Discord groups and found people, and people taught me how to play the game.
Exactly.
We have got quite a crowd in here. Oh my god.
Yeah, we're all here
we,
watching.
we had 5 over in LR, and we were watching you on Twitch, so we were like, hey.
Awesome.
Yeah, no, this is awesome. We should actually do stuff like this way more often.
Let's play a game.
Now I have reason to actually go back on Twitch again.
Yeah, so I am streaming my point of view, and I'll send you my stream afterwards, so you can kind of see what I'm doing, how I'm doing it. I really only wish that I had like a keyboard and flight stick overlay, so that you can see all my button inputs. But I don't.
I'm thinking about getting a HOTAS system too.
I can get
Throttle
you
and stick
a
is so
URL
fun,
for that,
but
Medic.
Throttle and keyboard is better.
He's on
I hate this
PlayStation.
Ultra.
He's on PlayStation.
Throttle and stick is so good, but the only HOTAS that you can use on PlayStation is dog shit, but you should still get one anyway.
That's.
Oh, well, I'm playing on PC with my controller.
Oh, good. Okay.
Wait, you're on
Hey,
PC.
Let's
that's
go.
even better.
That's
yeah. PC
that's so
VR.
much better because it enables you to do
Oh,
so
yeah.
much more fun stuff. Okay.
Yes.
Steam
So-
input works so well.
Okay.
And you can also get way better flight sticks than you could if you were on a console.
Real
Exactly.
quick, nothing to do with Squadrons
We'll get-
necessarily,
we'll-
but Anger Bang is streaming.
I don't know who.
Anger Bang. I haven't seen Anger Bang in a minute.
It's a really old Squadrons player
Okay.
from back in the day.
Anger
He
Bang is a
rages.
name I haven't heard in a long time.
Yeah.
I
Okay.
can suggest that.
Sorry for the distraction.
What's he playing?
Next,
Ready
or not?
Yeah. So.
Oh, that's a good game.
Okay. Let's see. Where was I at? Right. Minimizing your drifts.
Yeah.
Okay. So here's the next. How long on average do you think you are holding your boost button down?
I would say if I'm doing that, probably at least 5 seconds.
Holding or boost or drift? And
Drift.
Okay. So I know boost and drift are two separate buttons for you, or the same button. I'd like you
About
to
8 seconds.
try to think of your boost and drift as two separate buttons. It's two inputs, same button, but they're executed one right after the other.
Oh, I see what you're saying. Yeah, you're right.
So the
You're
first,
basically double tapping your trigger.
right, you're double tapping your trigger. The first 2 clicks are your boost, but the second click is your drift. Or the first click is your boost, the second click is your drift. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
yeah.
Because the first click initiates your boost, the second click initiates your drift. So
Because I have to hold it down.
right,
Yeah,
you
you
have to
want
hold.
to hold the drift. Hold your trigger down.
So it's almost like your trigger has two functions, to boost and to
Right.
drift. Because if you hold your boost button down in the first place, then you just burn your boost away. So, and
That
one
makes sense.
they're sequential, right? So, anyway, when you boost, how long are you boosting for? Not drifting. Drifting is the hold. Boosting, when I ask how long you're boosting, how long in between the 2 taps of your
I
trigger
would
finger?
usually say about 2 seconds.
Okay. So you're waiting for your ship to fully get up to speed.
Yeah.
Okay. This is going to be weird, but
Is he under throttling?
no, and we'll get to that in a second.
Not yet.
This is going to be weird. Don't do that anymore. And it will make sense after the first time, or after your first boost drift. It'll
So
make
don't
sense.
play it like Star Fox then. Got it.
It'll make sense on the second one. Believe it or
Okay.
not. As long as you are moving around, as long as you execute another boost drift before your first one completely ends, then the time in between the 2 clicks, mine's like a third of a second. Like I'm
Oh, wow.
1-2. 1-2.
Yeah, it's very fast.
It's really,
Boost drift.
really
Boost
fast.
drift. very fast. You're not waiting for your boost to spend much time.
And
are we meant to be watching something here?
Yes, I'm streaming on Twitch. I'm also streaming on Discord, and I am teaching Mr. Maverick how to fly Star Wars Squadrons from the very beginning.
Oh, right, so I need to watch your live. Okay, sorry to.
Oh, you're good. You're
Carry
good.
on.
You can either watch.
What's going on there?
You can watch if you want to. I'm sure there's a ton of people who might be looking for scrims and things.
I've got it.
But
well, I'm doing whatever Suki's doing, so yeah, I'm here. You carry on. Sorry to interrupt.
oh, you're fine. You're fine.
Let's see.
This might actually be helpful for you, It'll.
Yeah.
Yeah,
If you're also a relatively new player, then you should definitely stick around.
Yeah, I've been playing a while, just not properly.
Okay.
Yeah, same here.
We'll teach you how to play properly.
Yeah.
Ooh, nice, Tiny.
Hey, that's all I wanted to do.
Plasburst?
Perhaps. Don't worry, that's all I wanted to do. You threw a missile at me and declared war.
Fair enough.
And we
I
got even.
I know what I signed
we're
up
good.
for.
We're good. We're good.
We're gonna get a scrim group out of this, boys.
Eventually, yes.
Yeah,
If you
but
guys do decide to
just
grab
right now, I don't
scrims,
want to be bothering you.
yeah, that's fine.
Yeah, we'll go back up to LR and leave you alone. But
Oh no.
Moon, you should definitely stay and listen to this.
Yeah, okay. I'll hang about and listen. Yeah. Catch you guys in a bit.
Yeah, click on Medic's name there so you can watch his.
Yeah. I think I. Yeah.
So you're instantly boosting.
Yes. Basically, instantly. And you can kind of tell when I'm boosting and drifting. Because when you're boosting, your screen, until you reach top speed, your perspective zooms out. And when you drift, your perspective zooms in. And
Doesn't happen on VR.
Okay, yeah, that's the one thing I don't like about VR is that you don't get the lurch, and the lurch is important. So that doesn't happen on VR, but it does happen on console, and you can kind of see it when you watch my stream. But I'm basically instantly.
No, I know what you're talking about though. Like that's what shows up on the flat screen. Yeah.
Yeah.
And I know what you're referring to.
You can tell how like long I'm boosting because there's a tiny little jolt between my boost and my drift that is basically the duration in between those two taps for me.
Okay.
And if you're listening to my Twitch, you can hear my engines activate for like a millisecond. It's just like almost a click. But yeah, and that's all I'm doing.
Two separate buttons, right, for this, for your shunting.
Shunting, I haven't quite gotten to that yet, but that's basically how I'm able to infinitely do this.
Yeah. But what I'm saying is you've got them separate. You don't have them on the single tap, double tap, which I've got, which I need to change. But
so
you've got them separate.
I have mine separate. But all I'm doing is I'm shunting to engines when I'm doing this. But I haven't quite gotten to that yet. I want to cover zero throttling first.
Sorry.
I want to make sure Maverick is getting this.
Yeah.
Okay.
Sorry, Maverick.
You're good.
No, I appreciate it.
So, how many... And this is the real question. When you're boosting and drifting around, Maverick, if you're quickly boosting, like as fast as you can, and then, you know, boosting and drifting, holding your drift for as long as you can, and rinse and repeat, do you ever get up to max speed, like 240-ish? Especially right after a drift?
I don't know.
Or right
I think so.
after a boost, like right at the start of a drift?
Oh yeah, when I activate the second boost, yeah.
Yeah. Okay, good. That means you're doing this right. So yeah, basically
I see what you're saying. I see what you're saying. I wasn't doing that, but when I'm supposed to be waiting for it to get to the second boost again, all the way to 249 before doing the next drift. Is that what you're saying?
Say that again?
Like if I'm boosting and waiting all the way until it gets to 249, I hit the drift then.
No. Don't wait while boosting. That wastes boost. You want to use as little boost as possible. I just want to know if you are getting caught by if the under throttle bug is activating for you or if it's not. Who else is on the opposing team? Tiny.
Yep.
Would you or Zoltri mind spectating the game and watching Maverick's POV to see if he's getting the full boost drift, like if he's hitting max speed or not?
Let's see. I would need to exit the game and then rejoin as a spectator.
Yes.
Hey, let me do it. I'm gonna have to drop soon, and I don't want to end the game on you.
Okay.
The game's ending in like.
I've already done
minutes.
it. If you can give me a second, I'll join back in.
But yeah, I just want to make sure you're getting this and you are getting caught by the under throttle bug, because the under throttle bug is a bug that helps you get to max speed and hold your drifts for longer. If you initiate a boost when your current speed is over your throttle speed, you instantly go to max speed.
It's Ultra, I'm back in. You can leave and spectate now.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna say that again because it's not easy to grasp. Your current speed is your speedometer. Your throttle speed is a different speed. It's the speed you would be going if you were only, using your engines and not like boosting and drifting, right?
Right.
So your throttle speed could be at 50%, 100%, or 0. Thank you, Tiny.
That's all I needed. Sorry, I just wanted to see what the meme beam looked like on your screen.
That was good. So when you boost, as you can see, if you hold boost for a while, you start to go above your max speed, right?
Right.
The thing is if at any point you initiate another boost before you've reached your throttle speed, you instantly go to max speed. And so when you're boosting and drifting around naturally, that's why I said initiate your boost and drift before your previous drift ends, because then you're still in your drifting state and you're still above your max speed. And so the second time around that you boost drift, you should automatically go to max speed. There's a couple ways that you can fake this happening. One of them is to start with power in engines, switch it to weapons, and instantly boost. The other is to throttle down and instantly boost.
So Maverick, I'm spectating you if you would like to do a little bit.
Yeah, please.
So I can see if you're getting it or not real quick. So go ahead and do a few boost drifts.
Okay.
Okay, you're still holding your boost for too long before initiating the drift. It should be literally hit the button as fast as you can twice. Is basically it.
Yeah.
Just drift, boost drift. Like snap.
The only way I
now
can
keep doing that.
The best way I can think to say it is your ship will essentially oh my goodness, English sucks for me. You will essentially instantly boost to your top speed, and so you can hit your boost button and then your drift button, You don't have to
He's got
wait
it
for
now.
it to get up to speed.
Oh,
It'll
I
do
had
it
it for a
instantly.
second. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, he's got it now. The cadence between your boost and drift should be like literally boost drift.
Literally instant.
Yeah. The fact that I'm keeping up with you right now means you're doing it right. Or the fact that, yeah, I have to, like, actively follow you around, but I'm keeping, like, a 500-meter distance away from you at all times means you're doing it right. Because I'm boosting and drifting, and I know for certain that I'm doing it right. So now we get to the under throttle bug. Somebody mentioned earlier setting your throttle to 0. And the reason for that is that if you're ever at 0 throttle, then if you're moving at all, your speed is automatically higher than your throttle speed. So when you boost, you automatically get the boost drift bug and go to max speed.
The easiest way to get a feel for it is go to full throttle and boot. I want you to boost until you get to max speed. Right. Okay. Now go ahead and just go ahead and end that boost. Build your boost back up. And now I want you to go to 0 throttle and do the same thing, and you will see the difference. I won't even have to mention it. See how fast you made it to full speed?
Wow. Yeah.
Comparatively? Yeah.
Yeah.
It's that.
So I would have to be going.
If
reach top speed, stop, throttle down to 0, and go again.
No.
All you have to do.
Keep it at 0.
All you have to do is initiate a boost while your current speed is above your throttle speed.
I see. So as it's decelerating.
Right. As you're slowing down in a drift state, then when you hit another boost, you instantly go to max speed. And then you hold that drift for as long as you can. You travel a very long distance, and then you do it all over again. And because you're dead drifting and you don't have power in engines, then you're going a long distance for every drift, and you're spending very minimal boost to do it, and you're moving like twice as fast as you would be normally.
I see.
I wish I had this a couple of years ago.
I wish I had it at launch.
Honestly, yeah.
This really helps, so I think Maverick,
if I had the skills that I have now at launch, I would be cranking on A1 left and right.
I think literally anybody still playing could destroy A1.
Yeah, no kidding.
At its peak right now.
I know, but the fact that like
so enjoyable and fun.
Oh, it would love. I would love to just like watch his stream as he gets torn apart.
Right, is this Avenger one you're talking about?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay, yeah. The infamous.
The infamous Avenger one.
I only found out yesterday why everyone doesn't like him, but, or well, they didn't like him. I don't know what the case is now, but I presume it's still the same.
I have my reason, but I'm not.
He
talk about that right now.
He had a strong personality. We'll say that. That's.
Can I make one suggestion for Maverick that will help him with the 0 throttle thing?
Absolutely.
He needs to change his throttle to step and 50% increments.
Okay, that's a good point that you brought that up, because I mentioned something about that earlier.
You did.
Mm-hmm.
And I told you I was going to get to it later, and now we're at the later point. So the reason why I have my throttle in steps at 50% is so I don't have to hold my throttle when I down throttle. So I can be going full speed. I hit my down throttle button twice. My throttle is now at 0, and then I instantly hit the boost button, and I'm at max speed. In like half a second. It's 3 button presses between traveling max throttle speed, and traveling max boost speed while drifting. Or 3, yeah, approximately. So, and that's in, I believe, gameplay. Options. It's in controls. Control, throttle input, steps, and then I have my throttle step increment at 50%.
And that's a big difference, though. I like that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, oh yeah, I'm seeing it.
That's good.
Oh, this is
Hell
fun to
yeah,
watch.
let's go.
And like once you're doing the 0 throttle, right? You don't need to like throttle back up unless you're you like need to go forward without boost.
Oh, I see what you're saying. Right? So like if I'm boosting, or rather if I'm dropping it down back to 0 and boost again, I don't have to put it back up.
Yeah.
Correct.
If
like
you just...
right now, before you boost, do your first boost, like you're moving forward already, right? You could just drop it to 0 throttle, do your boost, and leave it at 0 until you need to move under regular power.
I think it's where he was confused. It's just when you leave the ship, you would have your throttle up, and then as soon as you do your boost, the first boost, then you drop it down and leave it at that.
Yes.
Because my thought was to just get the hell out of there.
You're quicker with the throttle down. That's the thing with this game.
Yeah.
It's a counterintuitive and actually kind of frustrating that it was never fixed, but it is what it is. So please use it.
Okay. You feel comfortable with that?
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay, I'm gonna teach you the last trick of Empire that is going to basically change the whole game here. And that is shunting. So, shunting, if you have a moment to watch my screen, I want to show you this.
Yeah, I mean, power down.
So...
There we go. Oh, wait, I'm on the wrong...
Dude, you're going to progress so quick with all this info, mate.
You really are. After today, you will have mastered Empire as a faction.
After this session, you should be able to jump into any new player lobby and dominate them.
Yes.
Please don't.
Please don't.
If you didn't have this info, you'll be 2 years trying to figure this stuff out, at least.
And
I take that from my word for it.
Okay, tell me when you're watching my stream, and I'm gonna show you what I'm doing here.
I'm on.
Okay. So, I
wasn't sure if that was you shooting at me or me just shooting out by accident.
This is me shooting. So, as you can see right now, I have full boost. I have full energy in engines. And I'm holding my trigger down right now, and I have no energy in weapons. Shunting, and I have my shunting on 2 separate buttons, allows me to instantly transfer power between one system and another. You see what I'm doing here?
Oh, yeah.
So I have now fully overcharged weapons. I can shunt into engines and have instantly full boost bar. Shunt back into weapons, have fully overcharged weapons. Shoot back into engines and have fully overcharged engines. Shunt. 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 Okay. Now that I've shown you that, I want to show you the application of it.
Okay.
The application is really easy. So, I'm moving. I have my power in engines. I throttle down to 0. Throttle power in weapons. Shunt to engines. Boost drift. I have full boost. I'm just holding, boosting and drifting, holding, boosting and drifting. And all the while I'm doing this, my power is still in weapons.
I was gonna say, are you shunting? You're shunting it back over to weapons while everything recharges.
I'm not shunting it back over to weapons. I can, but I'm not. I'm just spending my boost as I have it. And then once I'm empty, I shunt to engines again.
You just shunt back into it.
And I can do this an infinite number of times.
So your power is charging your weapons, and then it takes the power from weapons and puts it in engines.
Yes.
It just drops it into engines, and then you just reserve it and just go.
Yep.
Okay.
This is called shunt charging. Specifically, shunt charging is where you do this, where in the middle of your drift, you shunt into weapons, and then when you're ready to boost, you shunt back into engines, and then while you're drifting, you shunt into weapons.
What he's showing you right now is actually quite it's not complicated, but it takes time to you're gonna need to practice it at some point.
This
when you get stressed, you end up
there's no one in this lobby that's been playing for a while that has not spent hundreds of hours in a custom lobby by themselves practicing stuff like this.
Yeah.
I did it in
That's what I gotta start doing is custom lobbies more for myself only.
And that's the other thing, is if you do this in the practice range, none of this works. Because
what you have to do is you have to make a custom private map.
Server side shit is bullshit. Anyway,
madness.
Anyway, I just wanted to don't. It takes practice. Like everything we're showing you will take time to perfect, and you'll get better and better at it, and then at some point it's just gonna all click together and feel like you'll have that muscle memory of, okay, I don't even have to think about it anymore, it just happens, if that makes sense.
Right.
So this is
it's losing your rhythm, isn't it? If you're under duress, you know, you've got somebody chasing you, and you're being a new player, you do tend to start going panic, and then you lose your rhythm, then you lose your boost.
Yes, but this is the lobby's about to end here, but I'm just showing you, like, this is the next step. I'm gonna start just with you know, keep your power in weapons and shunt to engines, boost and drift around, don't shoot at anything, just practice doing this, and then by the time you run out of boost, your weapons should be overcharged again, and you should be able to shunt back to engines again. And just rinse and repeat that over and over, and you can move as fast as you want, wherever you want. And the only downside is if you're just doing that, then when you shoot people, you'll eventually run out of lasers, and then you'll also run out of engine power. And so you have to kind of keep an eye on that. But if you're doing the shunt charging, like I was doing both, where when you're drifting, you shunt into engines, and when you're about to boost, you shunt into... Or when you're drifting, you shunt into weapons. When you're about to boost, you shunt into engines. And you just keep shunting back and forth, like, indefinitely. Then you never run out of weapons power. You never run out of boost. You're always moving at max speed. You're always, like, drifting. You're always turning at max speed. Oh, the other thing is when you're drifting, you turn at max speed. So, like, there's... And no, you wouldn't have figured any of this out unless you spent a collective hundreds of thousands of hours in this game, like the many competitive players have over the course of this game.
Hey, I'll be right back.
So,
medic.
Yeah, but that's basically...
I'm gonna grab my buddy.
That's basically how, you know, things... That's basically how you master Empire.
Do you want to swap him over to New Republic now so he can see that side, or do you want to keep working on Empire?
No. So I'm going to give you homework, Maverick. Your homework...
Homework.
Your homework is to practice the Empire stuff that I've shown you. Practice dead drifting.
Okay.
Practice keeping your boosts as short as possible. Practice holding your drifts as long as possible. And if you start to get into it, practice your shunting.
Now, we didn't go over the controls for shunting.
Okay. I'll do that now. Controls. So it's in here. I think if you want to remap your controls, you go down to flight. This is in this menu, right? In controls. Yeah. You can remap the buttons that you want in remap controls and click change. The other thing down here is shield focus and power conversion. You want this on combo. Selector brings up a menu, and the menu is trash, and it will slow you down.
Yeah, the menu is trash.
So use combo. And that's basically it. I think the button to shunt is X on controller. I know it's X on Xbox. I think.
Let me see what it is. What's it? Is it just called shunt?
Yeah, it's shunt power. Shunt power, or shield focus and power conversion. That's the official name in the game.
I have focus shield / convert power.
Yes, that's the control.
That is X.
Okay, so when you're flying around,
or rather square.
So when you're flying around, tap square once to move power into, or shunt into engines.
Okay.
Double tap to shunt into weapons. And hold it down to balance. I don't like balancing because I don't think there's a use for it. Specifically on Empire. On New Republic, there's a very big use for balancing your shields, but we'll get into that in a bit, or next time. But for now, I want you to practice the stuff that I've shown you today. Because if you can get this stuff down, then New Republic competitively, mechanically, is harder. And if you can master this stuff, you'll be much better set up for the New Republic stuff.
Okay.
Because New Republic adds in a third system, and managing all three systems is a lot different than Empire, especially because New Republic ships can't drift for nearly as long as Empire. So the Shunt Charging, and they don't have shunting. So all the Shunt Charging and the long drifts that I was showing you today, we will have to find a way around those next time. And there's definitely ways to do it. It's boost skipping, boost gasping, that sort of thing. But we'll get into that next time. I want you to practice what I've shown you today. And feel free to, I would spend if you spend like 30 minutes, 20 minutes a day just in a custom game, then you'll have it mastered in 3 days. Honestly. And after that, basically, yeah, if you see anybody in a custom game up, you can jump in on an Empire side and keep up with the competitive, pace of the game. You might be a little behind in, the state of the game, but you'll be moving at the same speed as everyone else in the game.
I'll at least be able to keep up.
Yeah, you'll be able to keep up, and that's the important thing. After my job is to get you to a point where you can keep up, and then we shift focus on focusing on mechanics to focusing on how to actually play the game. Because you have to learn how to walk. You have to learn how to crawl before you can learn how to walk. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So, anyway, you are well on your way. You have progressed a lot faster today than other people I have taught. Some people I have taught took 3 sessions to go over what we did in 1.
Wow.
So, yeah. So,
your ego now.
Funny.
I know that I just peppered you with a crap ton of information. So if you have any questions about anything, message me and I will be happy to answer you at any time. Again, I've streamed my screen. You can, watch that back and like go through lessons and stuff. Yeah, I think for now, I think that's all I personally want to cover today. I want to give that time for it to cement in your brain.
Okay.
And for you to develop the muscle memory. This game is a lot about muscle memory. And so I want you to get used to the things that I've shown you today. I actually have to get off here in a few minutes, but I'm glad we were able to meet up today.
I am too. I appreciate the time.
Yeah.
Really.
I will
ask, when it. Sorry.
I will be much more available next weekend. This weekend was an
Okay.
anomaly. I was busy from 8 a.m. Eastern to 6:30, 7 p.m. No, 7 p.m. Eastern, all day today.
Oh wow.
Yeah, it was a long day. I am very tired. So I unfortunately have to get off. But if you have any questions, Mr. Tiny Dragon's here. I don't know if he's going to be staying on for much longer. He can answer your questions. He's very knowledgeable. I can answer your questions.
I
I
do my best.
No,
Can I just
I
ask, are you
appreciate
going to do
it.
this again?
Yes.
Are you doing this again?
Yes.
What, next week or something? Is this a regular thing you do?
So generally when people want to learn how to play in a more competitive manner, especially starting out, I ask them to schedule with me. Maverick and I have been trying to find a time to meet up and go over stuff for like the past 3 months?
3 months, yeah, something like that.
Okay, so I'm lucky to have jumped in. Sorry about that, Maverick.
No, thank you.
But if the same time is good next week, I should be able to do this again in a week from today. We can start a little earlier, like 5 p.m. Eastern, something like that.
Yeah, I'm on Pacific time. I told you that, but yeah, I could work around that.
And I'll jump in if that's okay.
Absolutely, you're more than welcome to.
Thank you very much. Appreciate it.
Great.
Yeah,
I will be testing you on your homework next week. I want to see you master the Empire side, like I've shown you.
And not use the practice anymore.
Yeah, don't use practice anymore. You're going to want to make a custom. Yeah. I would just make a basic custom and put a password on it. Maybe try out different maps. Fly around in the different maps, see how things feel. My favorite map for practicing things is Fostar, the map we were on today. Fostar, and the reason I like Fostar is that there are some maps that are very open and some maps that have a lot of clutter. Fostar has a good mix of both. Half the map is open, and the other half of the map is very cluttered. So you can practice. You can practice moving through both environments. You can practice freely moving. You can practice weaving in and out of obstacles and stuff. Yeah. So. All right.
Thank you, everyone.
Yeah.
Cheers. Get to bed then.
Yeah,
That's like...
Actually, my day's not over. I'm going to a campfire with a friend of mine later tonight.
Well, I can enjoy some beers then if you've taken.
I'm gonna go get drunk tonight. That's my plan.
There you go.
Sounds great.
So
you do that. But thank you. Have a good evening.
Yeah.
You too. Thanks.
Nice to meet you all.
Yeah, nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you.
Yeah, Maverick. I know it's a lot, and if I have overwhelmed you, please let me know.
No, I legit needed all that. Like I've never wanted to do anything competitively, but now that I have the actual setup for it, like I want to know everything. I want to get into this hardcore.
Floodgates are open.
Oh. Yeah. I appreciate
be prepared,
it. Like,
mate. Be prepared.
Yeah. I like something like this. I definitely want to like start streaming myself and get used to doing that again for sure.
So, well, yeah. Definitely, I will I will save this VOD on Twitch, port it over to YouTube as well, and I will post my links everywhere. pride myself in being able to teach Squadrons from the very, very basics of knowing nothing all the way up until like ooping and game sense, which is, that doesn't mean anything to you right now, but it means a lot to Tiny. So
I aim to be a fierce rival for him.
All right.
Well, like I said to you, the floodgates are open. There's a lot, man.
Yeah,
that goes into this.
You have
I've
opened the
seen-
floodgates.
Yeah.
Dude, I am shocked that I did, because I've been seeing on Reddit there's leagues on this, that there's tournaments on this, like people get shit from this, like that's a lot. Like that's
Yeah.
a whole esport right there, and a lot of people don't realize the potential of this.
Yeah.
Like this is check this out. I used to play Star Wars X-Wing back in the old PC days. I would play like all those games. This is like this is like the best thing since that shit.
Yes. There are a lot of people who, when they first started playing this game, came from those old X-Wing and TIE Fighter games. That's where the player named Rebel Pilot, who was mentioned earlier, he was one of those players. God, there's so many of them I couldn't even name them all. I think Zoltry was one of them, the guy who was just in.
And then
here.
like on top of that, like being able to play it in VR, like
Oh my
you're
God.
in the shit and into it.
So
I've played some like public matches. That shit's fun. I don't care what anyone says. That's the best game you could want to play on PC is this game right here. As far as VR goes, you have the
I don't know
full
about
experience.
VR, but I second that.
VR, I like playing in VR when I'm not playing competitive, but there are people who play
It's a workout.
It's a workout. So
I'd like to try it.
All right.
Very much so.
Cool.
All. Thank you.
Yeah.
I'll see you later.
Of course. I
Cheers.
will. Feel free to either one of you message me on Discord. Ask me any questions. You know, if I've overwhelmed you, please let me know. Go back, check out the video, and yeah, hit me up. So I'll be around. All right. I really gotta head off. I will catch you all later. Take care.
Yeah. Cheers.
Cheers.
Bye-bye.
Thanks again.
Of course. See ya. Mr. Tiny, are you still there?
Yep.
All right, I'm headed off.
Okay.
I am very tired, and I want to go get drunk with some of my engineering buddies. So, I will see you later. Possibly tomorrow.
Probably.
Okay. Take care, dude. Peace.
Take care. Peace.
Bye.
Bye.
Okay. That wraps that up for the day. This will be the end of this stream. So, to all of my lovely audiences who have watched today, I really appreciate you stopping by. I will be posting my Twitch VOD and YouTube video in at least Savrip, LR, 5-mans. And if you also want to save it for yourself, feel free to do so. Yeah, or message me. So I am going to head off. Let's see if there is anyone who I can raid. Twitch. Plat's playing Overwatch. Is there anybody playing Squadrons? There's 4 people watching me. Let's raid Dad's a Space Pilot. I don't know who this guy is, but we're gonna raid him. Raid Dad's a Pilot. Okay. Raid is live. Go show this guy some love. And I will catch you all next time. Take care. Peace.